Go live. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Easy Beasy podcast, where we love to keep it nice and easy. As always, I'm here with the wonderful and awesome Lauren and Brandon. How are you two doing?
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. Pretty good here.
My name is Zay. Hi, or Zayo, whatever you want to call me. Today, we are doing something very special. We are celebrating, we are debating, we are contemplating. Any other aidings that y'all can think of? No? Okay.
No, none.
I almost said something that I would regret. And see, the internet, you guys have a memory like an elephant. So
really, that word of all things?
Appreciating. What were you thinking, Lauren? Wow, someone's mind is in the gutter. Shame. Wow.
That's an assumption. That was an assumption. Okay.
Unbelievable. You have some great news, Brandon.
Yes, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Easy Beasy family, congratulate my mom for becoming a U.S. citizen.
Woo! Yeah. Do a round of applause. Awesome.
Yes. Long process. 41 years. 41 years being here in America. Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. How is she feeling?
She was pretty good now that she knows that she can travel easily, go places,
right.
Probably get better jobs. Because back then my mom was very intelligent. Like city halls wanted her to work for her, places that require her to be a citizen wanted her to work for them. But no, she needed her citizenship. So
Yeah. In the process, I mean, if you guys don't know, for those who haven't seen the process firsthand, it is a lot. I mean, it's a lot to get a green card in the first place, depending on your situation. And then citizenship is maybe like 10 times as hard. Like it's definitely it's a long-winded process. A lot of people have been in this country for decades and decades, operating like, as if they were citizens, but if you're not a citizen, there are a lot of things that you're limited in doing. You have to carry extra papers around with you, and you have to, you're not allowed to vote and not allowed to do certain things. And now, I mean, I can't imagine, like, that sounds like such a liberating thing. So shout out to Brandon's mom.
Right, congrats, to be honest.
Oh no, right? Oh no. Seriously.
I can take her to Laos, Thailand, Japan. Just travel out the country.
Did I ask you guys what your ideal traveling destination would be?
No, you never have.
Wow, no. You sound a little hurt, Lauren, that I've never asked this question.
And you know what? Interesting topic.
And you know what? You are justified in your feelings, because I really been meaning to ask you guys this. I don't know if forgive me if I asked this on a previous episode. Sorry, but I was really curious because Brandon told us before the podcast about the his mom and her citizenship, and it kind of got me thinking, like, and he was talking about all the places they can go and stuff. So like, what would you guys go, like, if and you had your ideal? Now there are two ways to look at this. There's your ideal vacation, and then there's your ideal place that you would live if you couldn't live here, right? Or if you wanted to live somewhere else. So there are two versions of that question. I'm gonna start with Brandon, and so just it may give both, or maybe if you don't have one or the other, I don't know. But what would that be for you?
I think my ideal vacation would be go back to my family's homeland, Laos. But there's always one thing that stops me. I'll tell you that in a minute. But for my ideal vacation, I always wanted to go to Tokyo, Japan. Because, anime, the food, just the culture, I just want to be there. There's two places that are so basically all in Asia, nowhere else. I just want to be in Asia for some reason. But the reason I stepped back from being going to Laos, my mom has told me some scary stories. One of them is that y'all guys might not know this, but the banana trees that Asian people grow in Laos, they actually is like a myth or a mythological thing. Banana trees attract ghosts. Yes,
Ghosts?
yes, ghosts. Like my mom, I remember, they just had banana trees somewhere where she lived, and one day my mom was walking as a little child. There was a car accident like miles away, and all of a sudden she sees a shadow on the wall.
What?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right.
So,
We're skipping ahead to October a little bit in this story.
yes, one more thing is actually, I believe there's a haunted temple here in Georgia.
Haunted temple. This is
Yeah.
like, where is this going? A haunted temple.
know.
What tell me more. I'm very curious.
So I don't know. I think it was neither they tried to scare us as a kid when we went to the temple, or it was really true because it's like an old abandoned temple that the monks didn't go to, and it's like they can see like there's spirits there that are evil. There's probably skeletons in there and stuff, right? So like when I always used to go walk around the normal temple, right? Like, how could we go up there? So like it seems pretty far, but do we want to go there? And the kid's like, no, it's too scary. It's got ghosts. What are you doing?
Yeah,
We
that
don't.
was like that. I mean, it's sometimes like when you're a kid and like you get like, I don't know, a lot of that stuff. Like I remember one time. You guys know the story of um the story about the woman who like ate animals. Like, am I getting? Am I?
we all eat animals. That's not really clarifying.
No. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah, Miss Smarty Pants. Okay.
I'm just saying.
I mean, like, how do I say it? They're like how does it go? Like, there was an old woman who swallowed a fly. I don't know why she swallowed a fly. You remember that? Yeah.
And all that. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
and then she swallows her. When I tell you, bro, that story, the first time I heard that story, I heard it in pre-K, bro. That like I did not get a good night's sleep for like a whole week, bro. I was peeking like outside the sheets, like I was peeking over the sheets to see if the old lady was gonna come and eat me up.
You're ridiculous. No, the first time that I heard that story was from Fly Guy, which is honestly my favorite book series as a child. I adore that book series. Very silly, just about a boy who owned a pet fly. But when I first heard that one, I just was very angry at her for thinking that a horse would eat the cow that ate the goat. Like, when did cows eat goats and when did horses eat cows? That is the part that didn't add up to me. And when
they said she swallowed the horse, bro.
Yes.
They didn't say there was no lady who cooked the horse. No. She swallowed it, bro. She swallowed it whole. Like, I mean, I'm just saying what that mouth do, but like really, that's crazy. That's like, that's sheesh. I wasn't going for that. So like, I don't know, the stuff the stories and stuff you get told like when you're a kid, like some of the, I don't know. I guess it affects us all differently. Was there any like was there any stuff like y'all could remember that like y'all were told like as kids that was supposed to be scary or like that scared you? But like you looking back on it now, it's like, oh, I mean, I was a kid.
For me, it was something that stuck with me even till adulthood. I just really don't like mirrors all that much. Like, They're great. They're great. No, you don't understand.
No. I agree. No, like go ahead, bro. Like,
I think the first thing that did it for me was Bloody Mary. Like,
bro, I hate that so much. Till this day, I never will. I'm not stupid.
That's the crazy part. Like, I'm the oldest. I didn't even have children like do something like that to me. It's just I heard about it at school and was just too afraid to ever try it because I felt like it was plausible because I believe in spirits. So I just felt like it was plausible. And then once you're starting to get older and start watching scary movies, how much stuff happens in mirrors? Like, you know those horror movies where the lady's in the bathroom and she's like getting ready for her shower and she's brushing her teeth and she's doing all this stuff like super slow, and then every time she turns away from the mirror, it's herself just staring at her. Like, no. And the thing is, I wouldn't know if stuff like that happened in real life because I'm not going to see the mirror look at me because I'm not looking. So
I will say this. I mean, I'll like, okay. Let me clarify my point of view. And, you can clarify yours if you want. But sure. I'm not adverse to mirrors. Like, I will look in a mirror. You kind of have to. Otherwise, how you gonna check if you got like a little some on your face? Like, how are you gonna wipe the ugly off your face if you don't know where to wipe? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, so, in your case, it would be
it's be all over, right? Yeah. I said your joke before you said it. Okay. You're not slick, okay? But no, I mean, but when it comes to the whole like, bro, shout out to Alex. He was on.
Season 1. Yeah, he was on
season 1. Shout out to him.
About Final Destination.
When I tell you, and I'm out him a little bit, all right, but I'm sure he's will agree. But like, bro, whenever something like that will like be a thing, like he loves stuff like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like he would go, like, was it? I don't know if it was him or somebody, but I remember in elementary school, they went in like, it was like, I don't know, a group of boys or whatever, and we went into like the bathroom and turn off the lights, and then they did the whole Bloody Mary thing, like, say it or whatever. I by the time they got to like the third chant, bro, I was gone. I was out. I was like, all right. I can't do it, y'all. I'm not.
God. I've done it once to my siblings. Like, I will admit, even despite being afraid of it, I've done it to my siblings.
Shout out Candyman. That movie's coming out.
No.
That has kind of a similar premise. So shout out to that movie.
Yeah.
I've never watched it.
No, there's a new one coming out in the.
Hasn't watched the original.
I'm definitely gonna watch. I haven't watched the original. I'm definitely gonna watch it before I watch the.
I got an idea. Since October almost here, we should all get on Zoom and watch horror movies.
We should all do what? I don't think all. I don't. The definition is flawed. It could be you two, but not all.
Weren't you Mrs. Horror Movie like 2 weeks ago, and like now suddenly like you're what's going on? What's going on? You see. You're code switching. You're code switching. You're being fake. You're code switching on us.
Let me defend myself. Myself.
Okay.
Thank you.
By the way, that's not what code switching is. I'm just being coy. But go ahead.
See, I like thrillers like Final Destination or Saw or like the comedy horror movies like Friday the 13th and stuff. Sure. Fine or Jason. Fine and dandy. But when you get to the real stuff, like the pop-ups and stuff, for me, it's over. I've never watched Candyman for obvious reasons. I couldn't, and I know Supernatural isn't scary. Don't get me wrong. Like the show, I know it's not scary, but certain aspects of like pop-ups and stuff just get me so much that I didn't even get past. I think episode 3 was the Bloody Mary episode in Supernatural. That is season 1, by the way. We know it just ended this year, so that's a lot for me. I won't even watch like any scary movies, especially like ghost scary movies, just nothing. The farthest I've gotten has been all the Final Destination movies, the Saw movies, I think one Jason movie, literally, and the Friday the 13th ones. Literally, that's all I've watched when it comes to scary movies. I don't watch things because I don't like pop-ups.
Jump scares.
Those
those are cheap though. I mean, that's like,
I know, but I don't like them.
No, I mean, yeah. Jump scares are very cheap.
I'm gonna say I can do like scary like if it's buildable, sure, I'll take it. And if it's something like blood or gore, whatever, that's nothing to me. But it's the pop-ups, and that's like the majority of scary movies. So I don't like those, so I don't watch anything.
Yeah, I think for me, the ones I avoid are the ones that make you like that mess with your head. Like that make you. I mean, I know that's what all horror movies are supposed to do, right? But like the ones who like really like mess this isn't okay. I think I would say it's more so of psychological. What'd you say?
You're gonna have to give an example, by the way.
No, I was gonna say this is more so. Now, this is not a 1-to-1 example. This is more so of a psychological thriller, right? It's not a horror movie, and it's also a show. It's not a movie. But have you guys heard of this show called Behind Her Eyes? Have you heard of that?
I've heard of it. I haven't watched it.
No, not really.
Yeah. Like stuff like that. If you've seen it, if those of you who are listening, if you've seen it already, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't even need to explain it. But like, okay, I can explain the premise of it. There's basically actually no, I can't explain it, because if I explain what's like scary about it, or not even scary, or like messed with my head, then it'll like give away the whole thing.
Give a spoiler.
Yeah. Stuff like that really, bro. Oh my gosh, whatever. Stuff like that really like that makes me think, or like makes me like, just like I can just be sitting in the middle of the night, just like thinking about like, so and so did this and this, and like, that's actually like, yo, could that actually happen? Like, blah blah blah. Like,
something I would like to say. Honorable mention would be 1,000 Ways to Die.
Oh, me and Dazzy were talking about this.
I would honestly say that is a good honorable mention, because as a child, being that all of those are realistic deaths and like things that have actually happened to people, it's had me like sitting down thinking as a child, like, man, you really just can't avoid death, like any little thing could get me. It didn't have me as paranoid as most children were after watching it. I was mostly intrigued, but for some people, I could definitely say 1,000 Ways to Die would be an honorable mention to like mess with someone.
Lauren, what are your two places? Are they the same place? I just want to ask that before we move on. What are your two places that you would visit and that you would live in?
Gotcha.
I have a clue at what you might say, but
guess first. I'm curious as to what you're
Japan
assuming.
is somewhere in there. It's got to be somewhere in there.
Actually.
Really?
It's not actually.
Okay, then we have to have a conversation after this, because okay, you got me.
It'd be cool if I had like an opportunity to go there, sure. But it's not
all
like
right.
It's not like my top vacation place, to be honest. Has always been, it's a tie for Italy or Greece, because Greece, being the mythology and all that, they have such rich artifacts out there that I would just love to see, like the pantheons and what have you. I would just want to see stuff like that. But Italy has a place in my heart because of nostalgia reasons. I will put it that way.
Nostalgia.
Yes.
So basically, there was this really hot guy from Italy, and like I had a huge crush on him back in the day, and like
that's literally what it is.
Dreamy. I know.
Literally.
Do you think come on, man? This is too easy. Come on, man. I know what she is.
It was from like first grade. It was from first grade.
Oh, good
so
Lord.
Dumb.
Good
but
Lord.
I've always wanted to visit it after that. Shout out to Alex from first grade. I know you won't remember me, but shout out to that kid. But no, to move though, that's kind of hard, because
right. That's a whole different animal.
I'm gonna say you have to realize my race, the fact that I am an American through and through, unfortunately. And yeah, there's a lot of countries that's not gonna like me for multiple reasons.
Well, I mean, you can
So-
find a group of other African Americans, and you can speak your little secret language, and then you guys can just form your own little cliques there. And so, wherever you
You haven't
go,
even gotten to the segment, and you're
you'll,
already
you'll
making
just
fun of it. How dare you?
You know what? We'll go since I saw my point of entry. Let's go there. Let's go there.
Sure,
All right.
please.
All right, now
This is up to y'all too.
now, I mean, Brandon, you can
No,
join this conversation too. I want to hear what you, bro. You don't have to, I want your opinion on this too, bro. Lauren, why don't you go ahead and explain, because we discussed this yesterday.
Yeah, we discussed this on Clubhouse.
We discussed this on Clubhouse. But Lauren, just give us the quick
I'll give you a rundown.
Summary.
Wait,
Basically-
beforehand. I'm sorry. I just want to read these two comments, both by Tanish. Shout out to Tanish. He said, one, PETA would cancel that story about the lady who swallowed the fly and other animals. That's so facts. Good Lord, PETA, y'all need to get it together. Also, do you think that shows and or cartoons will never be the same as previous shows and or cartoons from your childhood? For example, Ed and Hetty, Breaking Bad, House, MD, Suits, Hey Arnold, Rugrats, etc., etc.
Honestly, never say never, because look at how iCarly's doing. I think we have a chance, but it requires people to genuinely know the vibe from the past and what audience they're catering to.
Yes. I think now we talked about the iCarly show like very briefly on a previous episode, and I was basically being a hater because I was like,
why?
It doesn't seem like it's funny at all. Like,
but you have to realize that a lot of the shows from back in the day, if you watch it nowadays, it's not.
It isn't funny. Okay, and I'm so glad that you said that. That was really the point that I was about to make, is that it's hard to distinguish between when stuff was actually good and when nostalgia is like clouding your bias. Like, I feel
completely.
I feel like there are shows from like the 90s and early 2000s that were like genuinely good. Like, House, Breaking Bad, obviously. In terms of cartoons, like, Samurai Jack, I remember that being really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
And
Danny
SpongeBob
Phantom
was obviously dope. Danny Phantom, yeah. There were like, that still like hold up, but on the other hand, man, like, some stuff really doesn't hold up, and like people like to pretend like everything does. Like, literally everything was perfect and everything was flawless. Like,
you have to understand, with the state of the world currently, the only thing we have to grasp onto is a time that was simpler to us, which would be our childhood. So we grasp onto anything from the past that we can, whether it's toys, cartoons, clothing items. We grasp onto those,
and I think that's human nature.
Build them up, right?
Yeah, that's human nature. That's literally every generation does this. Like, back in my day, like, everyone does that.
Yeah,
it's not exclusive to us. So
just recently, was it Face? Remember, he was going back in his nostalgia kids day. He buy himself that people know. We buy Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We buy Digimon. We buy Bakugan. But what's one thing he bought that really brought him back to having like that child feeling?
What?
Beyblades.
Beyblades, bro. Oh man.
I never got one of those.
Not only did I never get one, I never like
I couldn't understand the hype either.
I liked the Beyblades in theory until like I got to school and like I saw people playing with Beyblades, and like my friend let me use his, and like I did the thing, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then all my hype just died. As soon as I used one, all my hype died. I was like,
that's another thing to me. My thing is, commercials back in the day used to hype a toy up so much, and then the moment you got them, you realized it just wasn't it.
Bro, yeah.
Yes.
Like just toys, just any toys they would hype up. Like, you really had to think about
those infomercials at 3 a.m. were hitting about the spoons or like some diamonds and stuff like that. It was all the commercials back in the day. They were really good at selling you on things.
Yeah, especially when you didn't have like the internet to like look up and be like, this is actually trash.
That's why I love nowadays where you can like subscribe to things and not get commercials, because what can you sell me now, internet? Nothing. You can't false advertise me.
You might be speaking too soon, sister, because I'm telling you right now, doesn't Hulu have ads on one of their paid tiers? One of their paid tiers has ads.
It's the very first one.
Bro,
they have like 3 tiers, I think it is.
That's like, you might as well just delete that. Like, that shouldn't even, like, you shouldn't even sell that to anybody. Like, that's so like, imagine me giving you my money and I just so you can
still
give me ads. Like, that
it's
is
just painful. In between every episode, by the way, I was poor enough to deal with that at one point. It was terrible.
My cousin, who's from Nigeria, he's over here right now, and one thing he told me was that in America, like, the ads are ridiculous. Like, you get ads on YouTube like every 30 seconds. Like, he's like, does not. He's like, I've grown to actually hate ads now. Like, before it was actually whatever, it's fine. But like, coming here, like, y'all get so many ads, and I'm like, I didn't even think about it because here it's just like, I just assumed it was normal. Like,
that's my thing about it is I didn't realize how often you see ads just in day-to-day life in general until I started to pay every app more money to not get ads. I pay Spotify, YouTube, and also I have Netflix, Hulu, and so many other things that I pay specifically to not have ads, or other people pay for me. You know, shout out to the other people who give me their stuff. But I make sure not to have ads. And now that I don't have ads on anything except for, like, you know, whatever you scroll past on Instagram or TikTok or whatnot, and then you go to someone's house who can't afford to pay things to have ads, and you just realize how, like, every 10 seconds the television or the internet is trying to sell me something, and it's so annoying. It's genuinely so annoying. And I mean, they do it. Could have tolerated something like that, and how we still tolerate and let them do this. They're ripping us off, to be honest.
Because their hope is that you'll get so annoyed by it, then you'd be like, all right, man, just whatever. I'll just pay for the premium and just give them my money.
And they were right. They were right.
Yeah. Shout out to consumerism. It's destroying us all. There's Tanisha said there are some reboots that do well, like, you know, iCarly, Samurai Jack, but a lot of reboots tend to be bad. Example, Teen Titans Go, Powerpuff Girls. Oh boy. We can get into that. We can get into that. We can get into that a lot, right? There's a lot in there.
That's a whole
yes, whole different topic.
That's a whole episode, to be honest.
Yeah. But I really want to get to this this language thing I was alluding to. I think you guys will enjoy this conversation. I know I was having a blast yesterday. Lauren, please tell everyone.
Yesterday.
Please tell everyone.
So I had found out through, of course, the lovely app TikTok that slaves from, you know, American slaves made up a language to read to each other. So the slaves that knew how to read came up with a language so that they could read things to the slaves that didn't know how to read, so that they wouldn't be exposed to the white man. It is called Tutnese. It's a very simple language, very easy to read. But the history of it, very adorable. This is a great way for Black Americans to, like, get in touch with their roots if they want to.
I wouldn't call it adorable, but I mean, you know,
it's
cool.
Loose word. It's cool. Okay?
I get what you're saying.
As someone who's Black American, I've never had a piece of my culture to grasp onto. So it was very interesting to be like, oh wow, there's something that I could learn to make me closer to my ancestors that I know completely nothing of because of the nature of, you know, what's happened in America and how much they've stolen from us. So it's like, cool, I have a little piece of my culture back. I can learn something, you know? I don't know much about that part of me. But people on TikTok take things a little too far, and they are trying to gatekeep the language from everyone else. They are trying to find ways to only allow other Black Americans the resources. It's gone as far as them arguing about whether mixed people should even be allowed to learn the language. They will not give out websites to people unless they confirm your race. And no, let's say if Adaze was trying to learn it, he cannot because his family is from Africa, so therefore he is not Black American, so he cannot learn it. So
that makes a lot of sense, right, guys? Like that sounds like it makes sense, right? Like I'm sorry to cut you off.
I currently, as a Black American, can go online and learn Japanese. So it's a little confusing to me.
Okay. Well, okay. Before we get into like our opinions and stuff, right? Actually, I want to. Well, we can get into that, but I want to know, Brandon, what do you think? Because again, we talked about this yesterday. You kind of like just because I jumped on it, then I kind of stepped back and I was like, wait a minute, okay, let me look into this a little bit before I say something about it, because I don't know if I know that much about it, and I still don't.
Right? Yeah, same here.
But just from what you've heard so far, what do you
anywhere anyway?
Yeah. So, but from what you've heard about all this so far, what do you think about the whole situation?
The whole situation, one, yes, it could be a part of history, but for that TikTok group, no, you gotta be Black American to be able to, if you want to learn this. What is wrong with that? What if we want to experience something that's historical, just like they're saying, but it's just wrong for them to block it away. But one, of course, this is historical. Just like the language for the blind, Braille. Do we know how to read Braille? No. And you had to teach someone who can see to teach people who are blind to read Braille. So, blind people taught people who are sighted people can teach people who don't know Braille. So this language, it just like, it's theory. But if we want to experience it, we should have, all the potential to experience it. That's what I think.
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again, please?
The Siri is going off.
Yeah, Siri is going. Siri is a Black man now, by the way.
Oh yeah,
which I absolutely love.
Accent.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I showed it there.
Yeah, Brandon showed it to me the other time, and my mind was blown.
Yeah, because
that's the greatest thing Apple's ever done.
Yeah, because you can use it for Siri, and guess what? If you're blind and you use voiceover, you can use it as a voiceover voice, even on a MacBook.
Yeah, he actually read us a story. It was heartwarming. Made me feel all warm on the inside.
I'm sorry, I only let TikTokers read me bedtime stories at 3 a.m.
All right. Let me say this, okay?
Go ahead, Najee.
Now, I don't know, and I'm going to tone it back a little bit. I'm going to try to from where I was yesterday. Again, we were on a Clubhouse, where things are a little bit more raw over there. So if you want to go check us out on Saturday.
Saturdays at 2:15s.
2:15s through all the way until we stay there until like 5, really.
Yes, we have fun.
Yeah. So if you guys want to check out the kind of a raw version of a podcast with more interaction.
The 18 plus version.
The 18 plus.
Yes. So before we do that, okay. I know some of these people say, isn't Clubhouse invite only? What?
No, it's not.
No, it's not anymore, guys. So basically, you can follow me, Lauren, and Zay on Clubhouse, and now it's actually available on Android.
We're also setting up a Discord server. That's going to take a little bit more time because Discord is a lot to Discord, right? But yes. We're also working on setting that up as well. So we definitely want as much interaction with you guys as possible.
So definitely come join us over on those.
For sure. So I had a little raw reaction to this because I was learning about it for the first time. But I'm just going to say this, okay? The issue that I have, one of the main issues I have is the gatekeeping. And I think this as a whole is a microcosm, I never know how to say that word, of uh of Black Twitter and Black Twitter culture, essentially, where we want to act as if we're far more woke than we actually are, and we know far more about Black people and Black culture than we actually do, and we like to use our misguided and um not mistargeted, basically the whole thing is you like to misdirect your energy into things that you in a way that you really shouldn't. Okay, I'm really trying to hold back my words here because I was very upset yesterday.
I can hear in the tone.
He was very upset yesterday
because it just, and one of the points I was making was that like bro, like debating whether or not like mixed people can say
someone
the language.
In the comments was literally like, am I allowed to learn this as a mixed person? They were like, well, in the future, if your white parents teaching it to you, then
yes,
no.
Yes,
but if your Black parents teaching you, yes.
Oh my goodness.
And it's just like, currently we're not in that future. And also, why
would you even bring up white parent? Why would you even bring that up? How would your white parents be the ones teaching? Now they could be, okay, in some small percentage.
Okay, but that's right? Like saying, but that's like saying if a white parent had a Black child, they're not allowed to cornrow your hair. That's exactly what that is. That's the same thing.
People really believe that though.
But that shouldn't be the case because they're trying to dive into that culture so that they can inform their child as a good parent. This
is the culture. You don't, but the word culture is thrown around so much. Culture. And you don't even, like, when I say you, again, I'm just talking about people. All right. You don't even understand the culture that you're talking about. You really don't you're speaking on things historically that you haven't done any research on. You're talking about your own ancestors that you don't even know. You don't even know if your ancestors were the ones that spoke this language, but you're telling other people and gatekeeping other people that, oh, because you're this, or you can't speak it, or because you're that, you can't speak it. This should be an opportunity for not only educate Black people, but to bring them together, to inform them on something that happened, centuries ago, right? That people don't know about, right? That get swept under the rug, because a lot of things in Black history and Black culture get swept under the rug. So you should be using this as an opportunity to bring everyone together. Instead, what do? Oh, we talk about, only if your ancestors were brought on slave ships and you have to be pure. Newsflash, very, I don't know if this is breaking news or not, but most people, or I won't even say most, a large percentage of African Americans in this country are not 100% African, right? Or 100, they're 100% of their ancestry came from their ancestors coming here on slave ships. Like,
I don't think anyone's 100%.
No, seriously, like what on earth? How does that even begin to make sense? So you're just assuming
that so much of our history is lost. How would you know anyway?
And that's also ties into the issue we have with skin color, right? Yeah. And the inferiority superiority complex of being light skin, dark skin, and all that, right?
And how we fight amongst ourselves based off of that as well.
And dude, it's just such an incredibly sad and toxic thing to do, because I'm first generation American, right? My parents are from Nigeria, so like, I don't know, my perspective is kind of different. I guess I don't fit into the criteria, right, of being like a real enough African American or Black person. I'm not Black enough, even though my parents are like directly from Africa.
I don't think
I'm not Black enough.
Well, in this case, it's not you're Black and not Black enough, but for them, I guess.
Well, their version of Blackness, their version of Blackness. I'm not Black enough for their definition. Yes. So like, I mean, it's so sad, because this is a thing, like, where, you know, in Africa, a lot of the times, like the tribalism that goes on, where it's like, okay, my tribe is superior to your tribe because we have this and we do speak this and we walk this way and we have this culture and this tradition, so we're superior to this. And, you know, and we have that on every single level, from the, you know, tribes to the countries to the continent, like on every single level. And so for y'all to like come and do the same thing, it's just like, it's so disappointing and sad, and it's just pathetic. And honestly, it is one of the worst things I've ever heard. Like for you to just take it and flip it on this and just make it into something so toxic. Like this always happens. This literally always happens. Black people trying to come and say and talk about things and they don't understand, and try to gatekeep things that they don't understand themselves, or gatekeep themselves out of their own culture, right? Like it I don't know. Like I think instead of trying to overcompensate for not knowing anything about your heritage, I think you should take a step back and really educate yourself for real, and not that fake education that you get just from scrolling on Twitter for 5 hours.
Honestly, I feel like in this case, not to defend too much because I have my own personal opinion on the matter, but in this
which
case,
I want to hear.
Them, in this case, I would like to say, at first, I understood why they wanted to gatekeep it. At first, for a brief moment, I was just like, okay, I get it. We just got this thing. It's like being at school and your mom gave you this new toy for you to bring to school, and you're just like, hey, I just got this toy. I want to play with it at recess today, you know? And as soon as you start playing with it, you know, all the other kids go, okay, I want it, and take it from you, you know? We just figured out the language. We kind of want to marinate in it for a little bit. So like if it was coming from a place of like, okay, I just want to like learn it for a little bit, guys, and like share it with the Black community first, and then like you guys can get it, and like we'll get back to you. But they seem like they want to gatekeep it forever. And that doesn't sit right with me.
Not only are they gatekeeping it, they're gatekeeping it within the Black community. That is my issue with like that is really my issue. Like, I mean, it, you know, like, because I mean, obviously everyone has their culture, their beliefs, you know, subcultures, all that, things that they're proud of, things that they identify with, that is exclusive to them and their people, right, that they want to be proud of. But like, you don't even you just picked this up off of TikTok. Like, what?
Deep breaths.
No.
I mean, in my case, I don't know. I learn a lot about different ethnicities and cultures and history through TikTok, surprisingly, because it's such a profound, like, that app in itself, it's become a melting pot of so many different cultures and people from around the world. It's very interesting, so that you have like one singular app that you can learn so much information on just by word of mouth. It's interesting. So there is a lot of things that you genuinely can learn on TikTok, but it is that not to say that it's a reliable source, or let alone a spot to gatekeep things. This is it's an app to share information. That's its purpose. So how do you expect to find out something, post it on an app where everyone's on it from so many different cultures, ethnicities, backgrounds, and then expect to gatekeep it from everyone but specific Black Americans? This isn't an American app, 1. 2, it's not a Black app either. So how did you expect to sit there and be like, I'm going to go on here and tell everyone about this new thing I learned, but nobody can have it? No one. Just us. Like, that's not how it works. If you were to do something like this, then you should have did it on Black Twitter. If you genuinely wanted to do something like this, you should have did it on Black Twitter. You shouldn't even brought it over here, because
I mean, I get what you're saying, but like, I don't even think that's the problem. Really, that's not even my issue.
To
like,
be honest,
that's so TikTok. I mean, it's all social media at the end of the day. Like, you know, people are just going to share. It doesn't really matter what platform you share it
through. But my thing is, they're going back and forth and arguing with people over like their right to harbor this information amongst themselves, as if it's not an easy Google search. That's my thing about it. I literally saw it on the app and go, oh, wow, this is interesting. And I went on Google. I did a whole Google hunt to find out information about it, the background on it, what the alphabet was, and the information and all of that, just so I can learn about it before I decided whether or not to teach it to myself. So I don't understand what the beef is. It's not like you couldn't get off the app and go do the research. There's not much to gatekeep in the first place. And also, if you learn something like this, I don't understand how their first instinct wasn't to share this. When I first learned about it, my first instinct was, oh, wow, I wanted to tell Adaze and like my best friend about it because I figured this would be really interesting for people like us to like learn more about history.
And that's it so is cool. Very interesting. That is, again, that's the sad part about it, is that like at its core, it's like a very interesting like thing, like and just honestly, I really, to just put it simply, use this as an opportunity to bring Black people together. Right. We've torn ourselves apart enough
for too long.
We've had other circumstances tear us apart enough. Like, stop feeding and perpetuating into like the cycle of divisiveness. That's all. That's my main point.
Learning things together and teaching one another and just moving on and not caring whether or not what they're going to do with that information. Just teach it, move on. Have this be a moment for us to kumbaya together.
Or what the specific bloodline of whoever learns it is. Like, who cares
about your background or where you're from or whether your family was slaves or not. This is cool information that I just wanted to share. Because my thing about it is, if let's say they don't share it, okay, it's not going to become a legit language. It's never going to be put in history books, and no more information is going to pop up about it because no one's going to speak about it.
Yeah.
So how do you expect something like this to grow and expand if you're just going to harbor it? That's not how things work. The only reason why Japanese culture is the way it is because they grew and expanded and they decided to share it with others. Same with so many other cultures. I don't even have to name this. With almost every other culture has grown and expanded because they shared it amongst other places.
Yeah, I don't know. It's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm so done. I'm so done with this topic.
No, I'm going to say something. The way the conversation flow, it actually reminds me of a clubhouse room. It's called the Ancient House of Magic, right? Mm-hmm. Basically, what this room does, so they bring up topics like this, right? And then, of course, they bring some people on the stage who saying they know better, right? And then the people who like, I was saying, boom, they shut them down. Like, no, you don't got the facts. No, you can't prove this. No, you can't do this. And like, dang, these people are going off on these people.
I think Lauren and I, we feel the same way, but just from different perspectives. So you know, and I get what she's saying.
I understand 100%. Where you're coming from too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a right or wrong thing. It's just like. The only thing I think is wrong here is that
at the end of the day, they're gatekeeping information based off of stupid things.
Yeah.
Yes. So, anyway, like you said, if you're going to gatekeep it, you can't hide it forever. Look at this. Information gets on the internet every day. You can't hide anything.
You literally can Google it. It's so not hard. You can find it so easily.
I mean, hiding something that should be like hiding history is the most backwards and counterintuitive thing you
not even just that but look at how many things that the colonizers have hidden from us only for us to continue hiding our own culture. We just found it. You think we want to continue to do the same things that colonizers in the past did? That's so backwards.
Yep. And that's why it's so dumb. Yeah. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah. Get it together, y'all. Okay, because you're not as woke as you think. Seriously. I was listening to NPR in the car, and it just comes on. Like I don't really listen to the radio like that. It just I just turn on the car and it just comes on. And I had two thoughts. I turned it off after 20 seconds, right?
I don't know what NPR
is. NPR, you don't know what it is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's wow, that's surprising. It's National
I don't
Public
have a
Radio is what it
car.
stands
I'm gonna
for.
say I don't have a car, so
I mean, it's existed forever, so I don't. It's not like a new thing. Like it's like saying, "Oh, I've never heard like a radio station because I don't have a car." I'm like, it's not really. Well, anyway, okay, that's besides the point. But I was just flipping. It just flipped on randomly, and they were talking about, and this kind of relates to what we're talking about. They were talking about how there's like how people react when celebrities say that they don't take showers that often, right? And I was like,
has
wait,
that even been a topic?
What are you guys talking about, right? And then hold on. They take it even deeper, right? And they say, if Jake Gyllenhaal says that he showers like sometime in the week, like maybe once or twice a week, people will have a certain reaction. But if Terrence Howard comes out and says that, then people might react differently. And they're like saying, that kind of goes into like the racism.
Can I say something real
that's
quick?
In like the industry. Hold on. I know. Okay, but it goes into like the racism, like the industry, and like how these like the perception of like people of different races are depending on like the things that they like do. Like people can do the exact same thing and then be like a different perception. I was just confused as to why we were talking about like people's showering patterns. Like that just caught me so off guard, but regardless, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually about the showering thing, surprisingly, I didn't know it was a trend to ask multiple celebrities about their showering habits, but I did see a meme. I did see one singular meme about people asking The Rock about his showering habits, and he said that he showered like I think it was like 3 times a day, once in the morning, once after working out, and then once at the end of his day. Which
Isn't that bad for your skin?
Well, he doesn't have any hair, and he does it because, well, I don't know his reason. That's how often he showers. That's not my business. I didn't know why it was a thing, but my thing about it, I think he posted it on Twitter. And you know how with most memes you can see like 1 or 2 of the Twitter responses or whatever.
Yeah, right.
And of the ones that I saw, it was people just going, "That's too much," and like complaining with him about how much he showers. But I saw the meme on Instagram and on like a Black owned Instagram account. And in the comments, people were just applauding him. And it was just so interesting to me to see like the difference. It's like, wow, they're complaining. These people are agreeing. I thought that was pretty clean. I don't care, to be honest, because I don't know.
It's very clean. Again, like the only thing I'm just saying is like, is that not bad for you? Like I'm genuinely asking. I don't know. Like, is that not bad for your skin?
Although my mom showers twice a day. I would like to say she showers twice a day.
I know some people that shower twice a day.
She has sensitive skin, so I guess it just depends on like what soap you use and whatnot.
True. And like if you use hot or cold water, that makes a difference.
Right. And if you sweat a lot, you're gonna want to do it more often. Sorry,
what is it? The doctors who told me, right, when I was going through my stuff, don't use a lot of hot water a lot often because it irritates your skin and then like dries it up and kind of does stuff to your skin, right? I'm like, well, I didn't know that, so I'm not going to shower as much because I used to shower like twice a day, but I'm not going to say how much I shower.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
This is such a weird topic, man. Like
it's just a weird topic.
I don't understand why they're asking them. Like, where did that even come from?
Yeah, what kind of scientific?
No, I think I know what it may have came from. I think it was after the TikTok fiasco of finding out that men don't wash between their butt cheeks. And this is not to clarify. Let me clarify. This is not all men, but there was a lot of them on there that did not spread and clean. So I think that might have been where it came from. Because they're asking a lot of male celebrities. So I think it's within the same realm.
What on earth are we talking about right now? Can I Can I? This is my fault, by the way. So I take full responsibility.
Wait,
but I
what
just
do you be watching on
what
TikTok?
I know.
I'm
I
not
know.
knowing. It was a whole thing. It was
Like,
going on for like 2 months.
huh? Yeah.
It even
See,
spread to Instagram. Like it was.
no pun intended.
It was a whole.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Good Lord. You know what? I can't even like I'm not even, you know what? I'm not even gonna speak on like the whole racial aspect of it, because you know that was just yeah. Like, bro, like people just, I don't know. I just felt like that was a weird topic to bring that into. Like, I mean, I get it, but like, why are we even talking about this to begin with? Number one, and then like that's
like we said,
I don't know.
This is why we talked about it. You heard about it. It was interesting, and you want to talk about it. It's just like how you said.
But like
it's fascinating to know it's been a thing. Like,
it was a thing, and I guess for a lot of women, they wanted to know if their favorite celebrities actually showered well enough so that they could still be into them, which also is toxic with how much people rely on their idols and their love for a mysterious person that you'll most likely never meet or even be able to hang around. So
that is
stupid.
we can definitely talk about celebrity worship on another episode, but
totally
that is something that definitely like runs deep, especially on like online social media, of course, because that's where you see people
most definitely.
And I think it's really unfair on like a lot of different fronts, but at the same time it makes sense. Like, when you're a public figure, I don't know, more that you kind of have more responsibility, whether you like it or not, you know, because there are more eyes on you, you know, there's more influence, you have more people viewing you as a role model, whether or not you want to or not.
People shouldn't be looking up to celebrities as role models, though. That's a whole nother topic.
Oof,
but
that's
a whole different topic.
Yeah. So we're all dead inside. I wrote this in my notes, and we talked about this yesterday. I was going to be as vague as possible, so I cannot remember what this is about. So, do you guys remember?
Vaguely, very vaguely.
Yes.
You remember, Brandon?
Yes.
What was this about?
So basically, we're talking about why am I crazy? What's going on in my brain? You know, I'm telling like, you know, I'll be in the corner in the dark laughing and stuff. Now listen, YouTube. No, I do not need a psychiatrist. I don't need it. I told my family I would not. Well, I told them.
I mean, I can go for one, sure. You know,
I already meant to the joke to my mom. I will end up into the mental institution and become the Joker one day, probably. But that's a joke. It's a joke. I think it's a joke.
Is it really?
I don't know, Lord.
You think it's a joke, Brandon? You should know.
Yeah, but I'm sure, Brandon, like, fam, if you are not already on a list, like this is
Brandon, is the voices in your head not agreeing with each other about it?
Okay,
is that what's going on?
I think it is, to be honest, because you know, I sometimes I can't steal. I know this not related to all blind people, but I have a lot of voices in my head. I do, you know. Screen readers, people talking to me, you know, watching videos, you know, there's voices everywhere, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, like Randy Orton, I hear voices in my head and they talk to me.
Yes. So, yeah. Oh, okay. It was. I think it was. We were discussing like whether or not it's weird to like talk to yourself.
Yes.
Like when no one's around, or out loud. I mean, like have an out loud like monologue, like out loud. I mean,
before you do this, let me say something. It's actually some, you know, people with disability, autism, right? You know, they make sounds
not just autism, but a lot of
a lot of different disabilities. So like it can cause problems, like, you know, you might be like making weird sounds, or they're making weird motions.
Stimming. That's what it's called. They call it stimming. It helps them calm down with their stress. I do it sometimes too. I catch myself with little things. It's not as obvious as people with autism and ADHD, but they're the primary ones that do it. But like stimming can go down to like playing with fidget cubes and like twiddling with your hair or biting your nails. That is stimming too. It's just a stimulating thing that can distract your mind from whatever stressors is going on. So
for me, it's like when I'm like out in the public, my mom always looks at me like I'm stroking my beard a lot. So like it just calms me down. Like if I'm anxious and I'm just here like just rubbing my beard and like my mom said, "Parents, stop doing that. It's just too many. Stop stroking your beard." Like, what do you mean? I'm not. Oh, I say okay.
It's bothersome to me because when I was younger, the main stims that I would do was twiddle with like a necklace. As long as it made noise, it would calm me. Or I have a phone ring on my phone so that I don't drop it. I'll flick it back and forth so that it makes sounds against the back of my phone case. And naturally, people around me get annoyed with that sort of thing. But if I'm overwhelmed, it helps calm me down.
Yeah.
So why are you going to tell me to stop if this is keeping me calm? This is helping my anxiety.
Go find something to stop your anxiety.
Right.
and
put some headphones in.
And then their thing causes someone else anxiety. Then they have to find a thing, and then that other person has to find, and it just keeps going.
The quietest thing that I can do rather than freak out.
Of course.
And then sometimes, like some kids just tap their knee or something, or just move, and people have a problem with it.
Yeah, like for me, I do this all the time since I'm blind. So like I'm in the public, I know people watch me, so I'm just like putting my fingers together, like just put them together, like rubbing my hands or just patting myself, and mostly, like I said, stroking my beard. I just want to feel calm in that area. So like, especially like if I'm about to cross the street, like, it seems kind of crazy. Should I go ahead and try to cross the street?
Yeah, that must be overwhelming.
Yeah,
so it's
overwhelming for me as a sighted person, so I can imagine.
Dog, I really hope it's not like a YOLO thing where it's just
I finally realized I should not be crossing the street because how off balance I am, especially my hearing impairment.
Yeah, man.
So
be safe out here, bro.
I know. Please. So like, no, I'm gonna go into the streets and do whatever.
Oh my goodness!
This is not a laughing matter, Brandon.
We are not not condoning.
I understand. Remember, this brings up to our first episode or our second episode of season 1. What we do for Cloud?
Yeah. Okay, yep. Oh man. Shout out to all the insurance fraud that goes on. That's I know y'all be getting them checks by faking them accidents, bro.
I understand. So like, I'm nearly gonna be walking around with someone, or if I like near a grocery store, I will now know that if I can't cross it myself, I just learned something too. You can actually call the cops, and they will come and help you cross the street.
I don't know if you should trust that, Brandon.
Oh man, I have a story for y'all that you're gonna have to hear next week. Because we're a little bit out of time. But I just want to read these 2 comments real quick. Tanish says that thousands of years we went from discovering fire and ancient empires, battles and wars, to debating over what famous celebrities' shower habits are.
That's so true. I feel like we de-evolved, if anything.
We are. This is our final form.
Man, I love
it. It is pathetic as you think it is. Yeah.
Please, I hope not.
And the last comment was for me. I would meditate to calm my anxiety. Yeah, guys, I want to know what everyone's like little things. All these little things that everyone does. Put it in the comments below.
They're called stims.
Well, I thought that was specific to. If you had like a disability.
No.
That's just for anyone.
No.
Okay. No, I'm saying the term. I thought, okay. Because I don't want to use that term.
Don't quote me on that.
I don't know.
Don't quote me on that. Let me do research before.
Yeah, so I'm not going to call it that. I'm not going to call it that. But just anything.
I know for neurodivergent people, it's considered stims.
Yeah. So for anybody out there, all these little things that you guys do, just put it down in the comments below. I'm very curious. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to shout out real quick?
Our socials.
Oh yes, our socials.
Shout out to my social media, official Zayo on Instagram. Lauren.
All right, shout out to mine, the Lore Monster, also on Instagram, or honestly on any app.
Hey, if you want to catch some other kind of YouTube content, catch me at Brandon That Blind Guy. I'm posting videos on the side about using technology as a blind.
Absolutely. And shout out to us because this is
episode 20.
Episode 20. Where's the Oh boy, I couldn't find the there it is.
Oh
Here it is. Here it is.
Oh, it's so sad.
Episode 20. I'm sorry, I fumbled the bag, y'all. Episode 20.
Truly.
Here's to more episodes to come in the future. I am a big milestone guy, so I really appreciate you guys being here with me, and I appreciate all of you to come check out the podcast.
Yes.
It was a very interesting episode. Got a little heated there for a second. But at the end of the day, this is pretty fun. I love doing this with y'all. Shout out to Tanish, MVP for this week. Once again, someone's got to come and steal his crown.
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
I adore him though.
Shout out. But that isn't all we have to go. We have to say today. I guess we'll just go ahead and outro it. Shout out to everybody who's coming in here live and anyone who's listening to the replay. Please like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to Brandon and Lauren. This has been the Easy Beasy Podcast, where we love to keep it easy and beasy. We'll see y'all.